They say weed and some of these drugs actually open the brain. But for me, it's when I go into the shower. Immediately I go into the shower, I start thinking about things. And one day I was having a shower as usual, and it just popped in my head, and I was like, wait, do we actually have catch-up innovation in Africa? And this is why I was thinking about it. Now, back in school, I remember that they told us that in the 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci.
What did you say?
Leonardo da Vinci envisioned how planes could fly, or should I say how machines could fly. He had these drawings and diagrams and things like that. But it didn't take until the 20th century for the Wright brothers to put in all the elements needed to actually create the first flyable plane. Carl Benz, who created the first gas-powered vehicle. We heard about Charles Babbage, who is considered father of computer. Benjamin Franklin understood electricity, whatever that means. Now, you've heard of names like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Galileo, Galilei, the list goes on. And I started thinking, okay, who is from Africa? What are the inventions from Africa? So I went on Google, and I was seeing things like bow and arrow, fishing hooks, things like that. Okay, I was like, okay, let me keep searching. Then on Wikipedia, I was seeing things like they use drones or something like that to map out areas for rice cultivation in Nigeria, in Sudan, those things that really look like catch-up innovation. I mean, you can't tell me that using a drone to survey an area have not been done by other countries before. I mean, other countries have been there, done that. So what is the innovation coming out from Africa? You go online and you see African children, they'll create wooden cars, create planes from scrap metal. They'll put in a makeshift engine in it, and then they'll try to just fly it around and things like that. And then you see people saying wow, these are genius, these guys are inventors, these children need to be taken to the best school. People are happy and applauding them. And for me, I'm like, yeah, I applaud them for the dedication, but it's not cutting edge. I'm looking for something that the rest of the world will look at it and then they'll be like, wow, this is great. For centuries to come, people still be referring to that technology or that invention that came out from Africa. Let me give you an instance. Now, they say that you can't travel at the speed of light. But imagine a technology that can bend space. The speed at which you cross a ditch is how you go from Earth to Mars, just as if you are crossing from point A to point B. Of course, invented by me, David Oshadari from Nigeria. It sounds insane, but imagine explaining to this technology to Moses and the Israelites in the desert. You see how it sounds now, right? That's what I'm talking about. Something that will shock the world.
Take it easy, man. Sorry.
Did you know you can invent something right now by hitting the subscribe button and then you see my subscriber count increase? Yeah, try it. You'll be shocked. My question is, do you agree that we have catch-up innovations in Africa? And if we do, how can we turn it around?
The simple, straightforward answer to that question is yes. So that is the case. We are playing catch-up. The concept of innovation is you have problems and then you solve the problem. And that's just pretty much it. So that's how innovations come. Like if you look at the Western world, the way they have grown and innovated is them responding to their economic challenge and probably other challenges. And that is just the way innovation works. Now, for some reason, the Western world has lots of influence in Africa, and that sort of affects the way we attempt to innovate. A lot of upcoming entrepreneurs are always stuck on trying to innovate in fields that are catchy or funky or fun to talk about. For example, everybody's talking about AI and tech and social media, right? So we are all focused on innovating in those areas. Most of the innovation that would really help the African economy, people are not really focused on those kind of things. They probably undermine or underestimate or undervalue such innovations. For example, this is just an example. It's not based on any fact or data, but I would say recycling. right? Recycling is a challenge in everywhere in the world, every part of the world, right? And it's also a value challenge in this part of the world. If you innovate in that aspect of recycling, like you come up with some kind of groundbreaking technology in that area, it will have like a tremendous impact in the economy, right? And also you have use cases, you have like practical use cases. But for some reason, we are stuck on trying to create the next fintech, create the next AI, and it is not like our immediate problem most of the time, right? We have more pressing issues that we can innovate around. It's fantasy, right? But it kind of like gives you an idea of what I'm talking about, and that's I'm referring to Wakanda in Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, looking at the concept, if you see the way their technology seems localized and look high-tech and somewhat, so they have accepted who they are. They are not trying to be like a white man or the Westerners, right? They accepted their what makes them unique, and they are building upon it. And that's pretty much it. It's just a shame that I don't know how the narrative has changed, because if you look at it, we have lots of culture, we have everything, but for some reason we seem to envy or want to be like something else or someone else.
This is the only country in the world that recycles all its garbage and, in addition, buys it from other countries. The Swedes have learned to make big money out of garbage.
The question, if we have catch-up technologies in Africa, and if we could do anything to turn it around, my response to that question is simple. Yes, we do. And of course, there are ways to turn it around. In Nigeria, catch-up technologies or innovations are, simply put, ideas, models that already exist. And we often try to localize them for use, or we often try to create an adaptation to improve or to create a solution for a problem that already exists. So catch-up technologies are simply not novel ideas. They are simply an improvement of an existing idea. So for example, in Africa, we have a lot of technologies that are used today. Drone technologies, internet, solar. These technologies are not intuitively produced. These are technologies that are largely pioneered by the West. And what we did was to try to localize them for use. So drones, for example, are used in large-scale agriculture. And these are things that were not produced by us, Africans. Internet is used today for local money transfer in the banking sector and across many areas and industry. These are not things that were first developed or concept first built in Africa. All right, solar panels are used today for alternative energy source today, but first the input and the research and development and the intuitive capacity wasn't built here in Africa. So this proves the point that Africans are just catching up with technologies that exist. So the question now is, how do we change it or turn things around in that sense? So the first thing actually is to say that not because Africans don't have the ability to innovate, but I think largely that the quality of education that has been served to Africa has limited the ability to innovate and to think intuitively to produce something that is new. Africa in the early centuries developed stuff, so like a pyramid of Egypt, and many of that stuff were built by Africans. But in today's world and in today's fast-paced world, can Africans innovate things that will be needed by humans? The answer is yes, but the reason we cannot is because of the quality of education that is offered. And the quality of education limits our ability to think and provide solution. And I think that that is the first way to change the way things look. Secondly, I think that a lot of investment in research and development needs to localize. Many African countries spend very little on research and development compared to Western nations. This needs to change if Africa is to innovate independently and not just improve existing technologies. The problem is that Africans are not investing a lot in the kind of research that produces the answers that are localized, and even when we see investments that come, they are usually Western influenced research grants, and of course most of those grants do not localize or do not prefer local research into things that already exist in Africa. One of the other ways to change the tide or turn the event of things is encouraging cross-disciplinary collaboration by promoting collaboration between industries and local things in Africa, like agriculture, tech, and energy. Africa can develop solutions that address multiple challenges simultaneously.
I really want to hear from you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? You can drop it in the comment section and we will discuss it further from there. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe. That would be highly appreciated. Until next time, bye.